Station, this is Houston. Are you ready for the event?
Station is ready for the event.
European Space Agency, this is Mission Control, Houston. Please call station for a voice check.
One second.
Station, this is Isa Piero Elena Filippazzo from the World Museum in Liverpool. How do you hear me?
Hello to the World Museum in Liverpool. I hear you loud and clear, and welcome on board the International Space Station to you and to everybody who's following the Cosmic Classroom on the internet. Good afternoon.
Thank you, Tim. I leave now the word to Kevin Fong, who will be guiding you through this event today.
Tim, how fantastic to finally speak with you. We're all hugely excited here to join you. Brilliant to see you up there. You're looking fantastic. Listen, I am going to start with our first video question, which is from Harry, Tim. So here's your first question, Tim. It's fantastic to see you. And here's your first question. I hope here's your first question. Okay. I'm going to switch microphones, Tim, and we're just queuing up your first video question from Harry, I hope. Yeah, you're just showing off now. Okay, so I can't quite get the video up from Harry, Tim. Don't do that. You're just making me look bad now. Okay, so I don't know where this video has gone. Tim, we're going to go to the second question. And the second... I don't have the question. So we're going to go to the first... Say again. Okay, so Tim, here we go. Here's our first question from Harry, Tim.
Class 5 years old. What can you see out of your windows?
So, Tim, what can you see out of your windows?
Hey, Harry, great talking to you. Well, listen, Harry, I've got a window right behind me, so let me go take a look. Okay, Harry, at the moment, we are in the middle of the Atlantic Ocean, but I can see that we are coming up on the coast of Africa. And Africa is a beautiful country to look at from space because you get the wonderful desert areas, the Sahara Desert, beautiful colors, and it's magnificent to see from space. So that's where we are right now.
Thank you so much. Fantastic, Harry. And we're going to have our first live question now. And that question, Tim, is from Chloe from Liverpool. Chloe, what's your question for Tim?
Hi, Tim. I'm Chloe from Golden Flash Prime School. My question is, why doesn't space have any gravity?
So, Tim, that question from Chloe, why doesn't space have any gravity?
Hi, Chloe. That is a great question, and it's actually a little bit tricky for me to answer because we do have gravity up here. We have almost as much gravity as you do down on planet Earth. It's just that we're tricking planet Earth by traveling really fast. So I've got a planet here. This might help me explain. You see, we're traveling around the planet so fast that as gravity pulls us down, we are missing the Earth. We're not actually hitting the Earth. And that's only because we're traveling so fast around the Earth that we're missing it. And therefore, the gravity is pulling us down, but we never actually hit Earth.
Chloe, fantastic. Thank you. All right, Tim. So we're going to crack on with our game of Follow the Leader. A cosmic game of Follow the Leader. So I'm going to ask everyone here in Liverpool and you at home watching us to take to your feet. Okay, Tim, I'm going to ask you to unclip from your support in a second, Tim, and we're all going to crouch down. So Tim as well. So let's all crouch down and see what happens. And then Tim, so unclip Tim, and then crouch down, and then push off. There you go. All right, let's stand up. So Tim floating there in space and spinning around, nothing sticking him down. So that's pretty cool. All right, brilliant. That's a great start. Okay, now the next thing, Tim, that we're going to do here is to spin around on the spot. So if you get yourself back in position, Tim, and guys, if you just spin around on the spot and get back. And now let's have a look at what happens to Tim if Tim spins around. What happens to Tim when he's spinning around? Go for it, Tim. So he just keeps going. And you can see that once you start getting things going, nothing stops. So Tim, everyone's here watching you spin around. That's fantastic. So guys, just take your seats again for 1 second. And Tim, I'd just like you to do that spin again, but this time put your arms out and then pull them in for us. So Tim's spinning around. The guys here are watching you do that. And you can see that Tim goes a bit faster as he pulls his arms in. That's fantastic. Thank you so much, Tim. Right. Brilliant. Okay, one last thing, Tim. Okay, everybody else stand up again. And fantastic. Brilliant, Tim. All right, one last thing, Tim, and that is we're going to get everyone to touch their toes. So everyone here is going to touch their toes. Touch your toes, guys, in the audience. Okay, and now we're going to watch Tim. Tim, you touch your toes for us, would you, if you would, please? Okay, perfect. Now, and if Tim, you'd touch your toes for us? The audience are loving it, loving that here. Touching your toes has never been so much fun, I think, Tim. So that's what happens if you touch your toes in space. That's all fantastic. Now, Tim, apart from your trick with the microphone, what else can you do in space that we can't do here on Earth?
Well, Kevin, I can disappear like this. And come back like this.
Tim, I'm very jealous. That looks very that looks like a lot of fun. Is that as much fun as it looks?
It's fantastic fun. You know, we're so privileged. We get to work up here all day, but it's like playing in a great playground of weightlessness.
All right, well, we've got another video question here for you, Tim. I'm just queuing that up on the line. This question is from Wilberforce Primary School, and we're going to see that now, I hope.
Hi, Tim. I'm Riley. I'm 5 years old from Wilberforce Primary School. My question is, does your heart beat faster in space?
So, Tim, does your heart beat faster in space?
Riley,
does your heart beat faster in space?
Yeah, Riley, that's a great question. And actually, it's the opposite. My heart beats slower up here in space because it's having a really easy time. It doesn't have to pump all the blood around the body fighting against gravity. There's no, well, we're in weightlessness up here. And so the heart has a really easy time. And so it actually beats a little bit slower. And if we didn't do exercise every day, it would start shrinking, which is why we work out, we get on the running machine and the cycle machine, and staying fit and healthy is really important up here in space, just like it is down on Earth.
Fantastic, and fantastic question there. And our next question is live here from Liverpool. We've got Erin here, and Erin's going to ask you a question. Erin, go ahead.
Hi, Tim. I'm Erin from South Primary School. My question is, does the food you eat in space have a strong taste?
So, Tim, does the food you eat have a strong taste?
Hi, Erin. That's a great question as well. I think the food actually tastes a little bit more bland up here, so it doesn't taste so strong. And part of that is because we don't smell as well up here with our nose, because our heads are a little bit puffy. All the fluid that's normally kind of in your legs and your feet, it kind of shifts up into your chest and your head, and that blocks your nose a little bit, so we don't smell food so much. And part of the enjoyment of eating is the smell of the food as much as the taste.
Fantastic. So food doesn't taste so good up there. And now we've got an interesting question from Cody, again here with us in Liverpool. And that's going to lead us into our next activity. Cody, go ahead.
Hi, Tim. I'm Cody from Shapsea Primary School. My question is it fun drinking water out of a bubble?
Tim, is it fun drinking water out of a bubble?
It's really fun, Cody, yes. I mean, normally we have drinks bags like this, which have straws on them, and so we just drink all our drinks through a straw. But of course, you can have a lot of fun in weightlessness, and you can turn it into a bubble and then drink it.
I think Tim's going to show us a bit about what it's like to drink out of this bubble. So everyone's watching you do this. There you go. It's like blowing up a balloon, isn't it? And we were absolutely right. That is a sphere. Are you going to try and drink that, Tim? Yeah. Everyone enjoyed that, Tim.
Now, Kevin,
that was fantastic. What else can you do with
Kevin,
water up there, Tim? I don't think that's the only trick you've got for us.
There are a couple of other things I can do with the water up here, so let me show you. Here we go. So I've got a little bubble there, and that bubble of water is going to float away. But I also have with me 2 bats, which are just like table tennis bats, except these bats are hydrophobic, which means they resist the water, so the water doesn't stick to them. They're like non-sticky bats, which means that you can actually play space ping pong. There you go. We can have games on a Saturday and play space ping pong. Now, something else I'm going to do is I'm going to make this bubble a little bit bigger. I'm going to add some water to it, and then I'm going to put in a fizzy tablet and show you what happens when we put fizzy tablets in water up here. So I've got my fizzy tablet here, and the bubble's nice and close to the camera so I can show you. Here we go. I'll pop it in. And there you can see the bubble is starting to grow. All of the gas is being released, but all it's doing is it's making that bubble of water get bigger and bigger, and you can see it fizzing up there.
Everyone very, very impressed with that trick down here on Earth. but putting a fizzy vitamin tablet in water has never been so much fun, I think. All right, that's fantastic. What an amazing, amazing demonstration. I think we've got time for another question, I think. So, and the next question is, again, from here in Liverpool, while you tidy up that bubble. And this is from Matthew at St. Anne's in Fulshore. Tim, that's the present I gave for Tim for Christmas.
Hi Tim, I'm Matthew from St Anne's Foreshore Primary School. My question is there a possibility of a meteor or space junk hitting the ISS?
So Tim, is there a possibility of
Hi
being
Matthew,
hit by space
that's a
junk?
great question. And actually, we do get hit by small particles every day. Now, sometimes they're a little bit bigger than others, and they have even caused some damage on the outside of the space station. When we do a spacewalk, for example, we have to be careful where we put our hands, because sometimes there are little dents and pieces of sharp metal where small micrometeorites have hit us. But we also have some very clever people back down on Earth who are tracking a lot of debris and a lot of space particles. And if ever we are in any danger, then the ISS will simply move out the way and we'll shift orbits to get out the way of any space debris. But it's a great question.
Okay, and another question. We're just going to get another live question here, and this one is from Oliver. Oliver, go for it.
Hi Tim, I'm Oliver from Yarborough Academy. My question is, what is your favourite science experiment on the International Space Station?
Hi, Oliver. My favourite experiment, we've got quite a few up here. I do like the vegetables and the flowers that we're growing in space. I think that's really interesting that we can start to grow our own food up here. And of course, we're going to need that for when we go on longer missions, like to Mars as well. And I also enjoy the experiments we're doing on our own human bodies, because a lot of this research is going to help everybody back on planet Earth to be fitter and to be healthier and help them get over certain diseases. So there's some really exciting and interesting experiments we're doing.
And Tim, just one last question, and this one's from Tom here in Liverpool before we begin to wrap up. So Tom, go for it.
Hi Tim, I'm Tom from High School Science Club. My question is, what is your favourite button on the ISS and what does it do?
Hi, Tom. I love that question. Do you know, I have never been asked that before, and that's quite rare to have not been asked a question before. This is one great button behind me. Let me show you. And this button on this panel here actually opens up the door to outer space. This is a big airlock here, and through this airlock we can pass experiments into space. And I have a great button here, which I love pressing, and that opens the hatch to space. We also have some pretty cool buttons in the Soyuz spacecraft. For example, there's a button that will actually separate the spacecraft into 3 separate pieces for when we come back down to planet Earth. And that should be around about June time.
Tim, we have time for one last message from you to all the children here in the World Museum in Liverpool and all the children across the UK and the world taking part in the Cosmic Classroom. So what's your closing message to them, Tim?
Well, listen, guys, I've had an absolutely fantastic time talking to you this afternoon, and all I can say is thank you so much for joining in, for everybody who's travelled long distances to get to the World Museum at Liverpool, and for everybody who's joining in the Cosmic Classroom on the internet. Thanks for the great support. Continue to have fun. Enjoy your studying. I hope you enjoy learning about space, and remember to just do what you really enjoy doing. Have a great day, and thanks very much for joining me on the space station.
Tim, it's been an enormous pleasure speaking to you here, and I speak on behalf of everyone here. Guys, I think Tim deserves a big cheer. I think you'd like him to hear that. Okay. I think pleasure, Tim. Tim, it's so great to speak to you again, and really great to see you. You're doing an amazing job, guys. Houston, that concludes our activity, and thank you again. Tim, thank you so much. Ladies and gentlemen, astronaut Tim Peake, thank you.
Station, this is Houston ACR. Thank you. That concludes our event.
Thank you, European Space Agency and TES. Station, we are now resuming operational audio communications.